Okay, this is the inside of that wall. If Trina scans around, you can see we were just on the outside of that wall. Now we're on the inside. We were standing in front of a very high voltage area. You can see some of the infrastructure is still here. This is the back of the building that housed the linear particle accelerator. And this is where they created the bioweapon. They roasted the cancer soup so they could kill a human being in 28 days. I mentioned that they worked their way up the testing ladder to include humans. The reason we know about the human test is because there were 2 trips to Jackson, Louisiana, to the East Louisiana mental hospital, where they did the test with the 3 Angola state prisoners. And the first trip we know about because witnesses saw Clay Shaw. He was the driver in the black Cadillac, David Ferry and Lee Harvey Oswald. And they had thermoses and an igloo cooler. And they met the prisoners at the mental hospital in Jackson. And Shaw, who did the driving, dropped them off. David Ferry did the injections, and Lee Oswald carried and transported all of the toxic equipment. A couple days later, they came back. This was a second trip. This time it was just Lee Oswald and Judith Very. And Judith Very had the expertise to test the results and see if the cancer had taken hold in the subjects. And of course, Lee Harvey Oswald toted the stuff around, and he acted as the driver this time. In both cases, Lee Oswald made stops to create alibis. So we know he was here. Witnesses saw a young lady with him on the second trip, so we know she was here. Witnesses at a courthouse and a stop along the way where they stopped, and Oswald tried to create an alibi by jumping in a voter registration line, saw Clay Shaw, saw David Ferry. So we know those are the participants. Those are the ones that were involved in the human test. That's where Judith Very figured out what they were doing when she saw the human subjects who had been injected with the cancer cells she had been working on and realized that they were dying. That's when she wrote the letter to Dr. Ojner with a crisis of conscience and asked to be relieved of this duty, and he told her basically get out of town or else. And he told her in no uncertain terms that she was now expendable. So this is where Dr. Mary Sherman did her work. You can see even now, though it's been rebuilt into a children's hospital, ironically, it is extremely ominous, sinister, especially when you know the history of this building. And this is also the site where Dr. Mary Sherman lost her life, because it didn't matter who it was. If they were involved in that project, after the project was concluded, they were expendable. And think about all the participants, what happened to them. Clay Shaw ended up in a trial and died shortly thereafter. The only one who came out of this smelling like a rose was Dr. Ojner. Judith Very got banished and was lucky she didn't die. She lost everything, ended up living a transient lifestyle. To this day, over in Europe, David Ferry was suicided. Lee Harvey Oswald was killed. So, and Dr. Mary Sherman got basically her body blown up with electrocution. So, when you participate in these projects, the CIA that are covert, better watch your back, Jack. We're going to take you across the street. Now, what we just did is we walked here from Dr. Ojner's house. If you watched the previous video, you saw where Dr. Ojner lived right there on the edge of Audubon Park. We just walked here. It's within walking distance. We're going to walk through this campus out the other end, and you're going to see where the Ojner Clinic was. It was the old Ojner Hospital. It's no longer that. It's part of this children's hospital. But that is so close. You can see Dr. Ojner had a little circumference where his whole life resided. He lived over there by Audubon. He oversaw a project here, top secret, right here at the Infectious Disease Lab, which was right across the street from his own hospital, his own clinic. That was his life.